You unlock your phone before your eyes are fully open. One headline stops you instantly. It isn't the happiest story. It isn't the funniest story. It's the one that makes your stomach tighten. Someone disappeared. A market crashed. A new disease appeared. A war might be growing. You tell yourself you don't want to read it. Then you tap it anyway. Why? Why does your mind cling to danger faster than hope? Why can one cruel comment erase 10 compliments? Why does bad news spread farther than good news? The answer began long before newspapers existed, long before television, long before language. Imagine standing on an African savanna nearly 200,000 years ago. The grass moves. It could be the wind, or it could be a lion. One person ignores it, another assumes the worst. Only one of them is likely to become someone's ancestor. Evolution rewards caution more than optimism. Missing one opportunity rarely kills you. Missing one predator can. Your brain inherited that lesson. Scientists call it the negativity bias. It is one of the strongest psychological effects ever measured. In hundreds of experiments, people consistently notice negative information faster than positive information. Negative events also stay in memory longer. Psychologist Roy Baumeister reviewed decades of research and summarized the pattern with a simple phrase: bad is stronger than good. That doesn't mean happiness is weak. It means survival demanded something different. Imagine your ancestors finding two bushes. One contains sweet berries. The other hides a venomous snake. Which memory deserves more attention tomorrow? The delicious berries or the deadly snake? Your brain chose the snake, again and again, across thousands of generations. Those choices slowly shape the nervous system you carry today. Deep inside your brain sits a small almond-shaped structure called the amygdala. It constantly scans your surroundings for threats. It works even before you're consciously aware of what you saw. Researchers have shown the amygdala reacts rapidly to fearful faces, dangerous animals, and signs of conflict. Sometimes it reacts before the thinking part of your brain catches up. That speed once saved lives. Today it keeps refreshing your news feed. But ancient dangers looked very different. A rustling bush, a strange footprint, an unfamiliar tribe, a poisoned meal. Your ancestors never faced thousands of frightening stories every day. You do. The modern world delivers danger at the speed of light. Your brain still processes it with Stone Age hardware. That creates a mismatch. A single afternoon can expose you to earthquakes in Asia, floods in Europe, wildfires in North America, political unrest, financial panic, crime reports, disease outbreaks. None of those threats may be anywhere near you. Your brain rarely makes that distinction. It simply notices danger, then it remembers. This is called availability bias. Events that are vivid and emotional feel more common than they really are. If you watch several airplane disasters, flying suddenly feels terrifying, yet driving remains statistically far more dangerous. Emotion often defeats mathematics. Why would evolution allow that? Because quick decisions usually mattered more than perfect calculations. Would you rather survive by overreacting or die because you waited for better evidence? Our ancestors answered that question millions of times. The survivors passed their instincts forward. The result is sitting behind your eyes right now. Modern media understands this remarkably well. Fear captures attention. Attention creates clicks. Clicks generate revenue. The human brain and the internet accidentally became perfect partners. Every shocking headline competes for one ancient survival system. That doesn't mean journalists invented negativity. They discovered it already existed. Social media pushes it even further. Algorithms measure what keeps you looking. Fear often wins, anger often wins, outrage often wins. Not because they are good, because they are difficult to ignore. Researchers have repeatedly found that emotionally charged content spreads farther across social networks than emotionally neutral information. Your brain becomes both the audience and the amplifier. But there is another cost. Constant exposure changes your expectations. You begin assuming danger is everywhere. Trust becomes harder. Hope becomes quieter. The world starts feeling darker than it really is. Psychologists call this the mean world syndrome. People who consume large amounts of frightening media often believe crime and violence are much more common than statistics actually show. Reality becomes filtered through remembered fear. Does that mean you should ignore bad news? No. Danger still exists. Awareness still matters. The goal is balance. Your brain evolved to notice threats.
It did not evolve to process every threat on Earth before breakfast. That burden is entirely modern. The next time a frightening headline steals your attention, pause for 1 second. Ask yourself one question. Is this information helping me survive? Or simply activating instincts that evolved for another world? That tiny pause gives your thinking brain time to catch up with your ancient one. The negativity bias will probably never disappear. It kept your ancestors alive. It helped create civilization. It may even be the reason you exist. But recognizing the bias changes your relationship with it. Instead of being controlled by every alarm, you begin choosing which alarms deserve your attention. Your ancestors survived because they expected danger behind every shadow. You survive by knowing not every shadow hides danger anymore. The remarkable part isn't that your brain loves bad news.
The remarkable part is that it still believes it's trying to save your life. The negativity bias is not a flaw. It is an ancient survival tool, but the world around it has changed. Your brain still reacts like a hunter, even when the danger is only a headline. Learning this changes how you see the world. You notice fear without becoming trapped by it. Notice the alarm. Question the alarm. Choose your response. The same brain that protects you can also overwhelm you. Understanding the system gives you control. Fear is information, but fear is not always reality. Your ancestors needed the alarm system. You need the awareness. The difference is knowing when to listen. Survival once depended on expecting the worst. Modern life depends on thinking beyond the first reaction. That is the strange story of your ancient brain in a modern world. A brain built for survival, living in a world of endless information. A world it was never designed to experience, and yet somehow it adapts. Because humans have something unique. We can observe our own thoughts. We can question our own instincts. We can choose what deserves our attention. Awareness is the upgrade evolution, never installed. Automatically, the world will keep producing frightening stories. Your brain will keep reacting. That is what it was built to do. But you are not only your instincts, you are the person who can understand them. And that changes everything. The next time bad news grabs your attention, remember the ancient reason why. Your brain is not trying to scare you. It is trying to protect you. The problem is not the alarm. The problem is forgetting that you are holding the switch. Because the ancient brain inside you was built to survive. But the conscious mind above it was built to understand. And that may be humanity's greatest advantage. Not the ability to avoid fear, but the ability to understand it. Your brain loves bad news because once bad news kept you alive. But survival in the modern world requires something more. It requires awareness. It requires patience. It requires remembering that your feelings are signals, not always facts. Feeling danger and being in danger are not always the same thing. Your brain makes predictions constantly. It fills missing information with old survival patterns. Sometimes those patterns are useful. Sometimes they create fear where none exists. The same system can save you or stress you. That is the strange contradiction of the human brain. The thing that protected us can also exhaust us. The ancient alarm never stopped ringing. We simply gave it a louder speaker. Evolution created the warning system. Technology amplified it. Understanding balances it. This is why knowing your own mind matters. The most powerful tool is not avoiding information. It is learning how information affects you, because attention is limited. And whatever receives your attention shapes your world. Attention is the currency of the modern age. Every headline asks for a piece of it. Every notification competes for it. Every platform wants more of it, but you decide where it goes. That choice is uniquely human. Instinct, awareness, choice. A journey from survival to understanding. Your brain still watches for danger, but you can decide what happens next. That is the difference between reacting and thinking, between instinct and wisdom, between surviving and truly living. The ancient brain is still inside you, but now you can understand it. And that changes everything. The next time fear appears, do not ask only why you feel it. Ask what it is trying to protect. Because behind every alarm is a story written by millions of years of survival, a story carried inside every human mind. And that story is still being written. Every time you notice your thoughts, every time you question your fear, every time you choose your attention, you're doing something your ancestors never could. You are watching your own mind, and that might be humanity's greatest survival skill. Not because we stopped being afraid, but because we learned to understand fear. Your brain loves bad news, because once bad news kept you alive. Now you can choose what deserves your attention. The alarm inside you is built for survival. Your awareness is what makes you human.